of the things that strikes me most about Edinburgh, I'd say, is the architecture. It's stunningly beautiful.
Well, I've been to a couple of galleries. Well, it's a really beautiful city, aesthetically, full of life.
We like to see museums and just the culture and history that a city offers. Who could not come to Edinburgh?
We've just spent time exploring Princes Street and George Street for the shops and the different restaurants, and today we've just done the Royal Mile, heading up to the castle.
Probably the evening time, going for a whiskey, drinking.
Yeah, we'd like to try that.
Just the feeling to be here, it's just great.
Edinburgh is a great city to visit all year round because of the heritage, the sheer diversity of what's on in the city. It's a great festival city. There is a huge amount going on, in particular the book festival, which is the jewel in the crown of our city of literature. Really diverse, engaging programme, suitable for all ages, absolutely everyone. There's something there for everyone. Edinburgh became the world's first city of literature in 2004, and this was a recognition of the city's fantastic literary heritage, but also incredible diversity and activity going on every day, all year round. Edinburgh is an amazing city to visit for its literary heritage. We have world-class authors living and working in the city. You can come and stroll in the footsteps of Robert Louis Stevenson, a world-famous author of Treasure Island, or wander along the streets alongside Rebus. Ian Rankin has a lovely saying, "The stories are in the stone," and it's very true. The authors use Edinburgh as a character in their books.
He couldn't see himself leaving Edinburgh. It was the oxygen in his bloodstream, but still with mysteries to be explored. He'd lived there for as long as he'd been a cop, the two, job and city, becoming intertwined. Edinburgh is an amazing city to live in if you're a writer of any kind, because the city offers so many stories. It's a place where inspiration is easy to find.
A cry followed. He reeled, staggered, clutched at the table and held on, staring with injected eyes, gasping with mouth open. And as I looked, there came, I thought, a change.
And swirling around their tiny smoke-grimed window hummed the smell of it, of the flesh market which by day filled the bottom of the close and gave it its name, Flesh Market Close. I paced the streets and I wandered in and out of the closes. I did my research in libraries, but it was really coming here, coming to the closes, walking down Flesh Market Close, walking down any of the little closes that you find off the Royal Mile, that really got me into the history and touching the stones, feeling what it would have been like for people living in those days.
It was coming near noon when I passed in by the West Kirk and the Grass Market into the streets of the capital. The huge height of the buildings running up to the 10 and 15 stories, the narrow arched entries that continually vomited passengers, the wares of the merchants in their windows and the hubbub of the endless stir.
It's just a great place to be. It's always full of vitality. And most of all, when I stand at the top of the mound, perfectly positioned between God's law and man's, the kirk to my left, the bank to my right, I see our city shaped by the sky and the sky by our city. And heaven itself seems possible then, if only for a moment, and if only I would let it. And there's no doubt that the heritage that goes way back to the 18th century and earlier, we somehow is part of the air that we breathe.
Now morn with Bernie Purpy smiles, kisses the air cockle St. Giles.
He ended up in the dirty heart of the city, on a street that somehow seemed to be on a lower level than the rest of the town.
In the early Rebus books, I tried to make a fictional Edinburgh. He drinks in fictional pubs. I never mentioned where he lives. He works in a fictional police station. Then I thought, oh, why am I making it hard on myself? I've got this great city, I should use it. So I moved him into the Oxford Bar, a real pub in Edinburgh. I named Arden Street, the street that I lived in when I wrote the first book as a student, and that's where he's lived all his life.
He thought of the Oxford Bar. Even on the wagon, he stayed a regular, drinking cola and mugs of coffee. A pub like the Ox was about so much more than just a hooch. It was therapy and refuge, entertainment and art.
If you're visiting Edinburgh, you've got to climb the world's largest monument to an author, to Sir Walter Scott. It gives you a fantastic view across the city. Then you could stroll along the new town, walk in the footsteps of some of the characters from Alexander McCall Smith's Scotland Street series.
And she pushed open the large black door with its numerals 44, its lion's head knocker and its tarnished brass plate above the handle. Well, this was Scotland Street.
Authors come here to write, and people who already live here start writing here, and we just find ourselves inspired by something magic.
For children, it's a great city. Of course, J.K. Rowling lives and works in Edinburgh, and the Harry Potter books are incredibly well read and well known. You can come and visit the school on which Hogwarts is based.
Harry then did something that was both very brave and very stupid. He took a great running jump and managed to fasten his arms around the troll's neck from behind.
You girls are my vocation. If I were to receive a proposal of marriage tomorrow from Lord Lion King of Arms, I would decline it. I am dedicated to you in my prime.
If you've only got an afternoon in Edinburgh and you're a fan of books or literature per se, I would just do the Royal Mile, because in walking from the castle to Holyrood, you can go into some of the closes and the alleyways, and in every single one of them is a story waiting to be told, but also you'll find the history of Edinburgh and the history of literary Edinburgh contained in 1 mile's walk.
It's a wonderful place here and I would like to come back.
We're having a great time.
Spectaculaire. It's in English spectacular.
Edinburgh is an incredible city of literature. It's inspired writers across the centuries, so come and be inspired.